Alright, now we're going to talk about the Class 1 consonants. These consonants are very similar to the katakana sounds you find in the katakana alphabet. So we'll start with B. When we make this sound, I think the clearest katakana sound is ba. So if we look at the ba, and then we can make it b, ah. We have just split up a kana character into two English sounds. So actually, I guess one English sound, b, and then ah, which is a Japanese sound. To make the consonant, we're going to get rid of the Japanese sound, and we'll only have b. So B is ba, D is da. One thing we have to be careful is we have to be careful not to say zu. Notice how when we say zu, it's d, z, u. But we just want to make a da, u, and then d, ah. So then we get rid of the Japanese sound, and then we have d. Yeah. So B is b, D is da, G is g. So similar to ga, ga. Another thing we want to listen for with each of the letters, B, C, G, there's a downward intonation with each letter. Next we have J. This sound is ja, ja. And this is a very interesting sound because, for example, in Japanese you have janpu, which is jump. But with English, we hear janpu is J-Y-A. We have to be very careful to get rid of the Y. We just want to keep the J sound, not the J sound. Notice how with J, the jaw drops, but with J, J, it's a clearer consonant sound. Then we have P, so pa, p, and again we have C and K, so k. This sound is interesting because k and t, these sounds are made by building up air and letting the air go. For example, with ba, we can almost hear a very small sound, but with k, we can't hear that. So T and K are they're two released sounds that are in consonant sounds. You can read more about it in the textbook. So again, with T, we have t, and so then we have something called a flap T. We can hear this sound in butter or battery. This sound we can kind of practice. It's similar to rarirerero, how you make the sound by flicking the tongue on the top of the mouth. The flap T is made by a downward, butter, so it comes from the top and down and back up. It's split sound, so battery, butter. We also have a flapped N. This is a sound that we'll learn more about when we talk about the nasal sounds. But with this, we can think of, so the flap T comes from the top, butter. The flapped N comes from the bottom. It's Anna, banana, things like that. Yeah. And then finally, we have something called a silent T. So we can say things like, didn't you know that? Or where's the printer? And with didn't, we should say didn't. And in formal English, you say, didn't you know that? Or where is the printer? But in conversational English, in American English, this T tends to go away. So if there's a T that comes after an N, like didn't, printer, the T becomes very small. You can almost hear it, but it pretty much goes away. And then the other time it happens is in words like just because. We should say just because, but in American English, the T really disappears because the word ends with a T and then the next word begins with a consonant. And the consonant is not W or Y. It's a class 1 consonant. It's not a released consonant. So yeah, T's are interesting. And we'll move on to released sounds.